does really work. Right, a good tip, always put your needle into your block when you're working, because they break very, very easily, and you can also stab yourself, and they do make a mess when you stab yourself. Right, so for little squirrel, what we're going to need is some of the red wool. It's important that you buy the best quality wool that you can afford, because I've bought some and some of it's not been very nice. It's been very harsh and it's not nice to work with. So just look and see what you can get. This is very nice and very soft, and this is what I've used to make squirrel. All of him is actually made just out of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to make his body first. So we would just pull some of the wool away. You don't need too much, and you can always add. It's very difficult to take away once you've used your needle on it. So we're going to make the body and the head as well. Okay, so have a feel when you've got it in your hand and you think, well, do I need to add a bit more? I think I do need to add a little bit more, so I'm going to get a little bit more. Okay, so just open it back up again, pop it together, and then start making your shape for your body and your head. I just tuck it under, get some sort of shape going, pop it onto my block. This is just like a foam block, easily available on the internet, not expensive. Right, so I'm going to get us tool. We're going to start by just popping the tool in and out. You can hear it going into the foam. You don't need to go into the foam very much, or if at all really. It's just that you will hear the foam crackling away. This wears your foam away, so try not to go too far in. Now this is where I like to just use the one needle, because you can take your time and get the nice shape that you want. So as we're working, what these little barbs are doing on here, they're making the wool stick together, look. So it's pushing little bits through. When you've got so far through, you will see that it becomes matted on the back. So we'll just carry on, and we'll just keep going until we get a shape that's something like a body. The thing is, when you're felting, you always think, oh, that's not going to look very good. But just have patience, because it does come together in the end. It just takes a lot of this manipulating the wool into a shape. Okay. Watch your fingers when you're doing this as well, because you can get nasty injuries from these. I do have these little leather finger protectors, which are quite good. You can buy these online too. I have one for my thumb, so if you're not too steady to start with, you can always put one of them on, and then that will stop you from injuring yourself. I'll just remove that for a minute. So we're just going to keep stabbing away with this needle. Until we get something. As you're stabbing away like this and you're forming this felted mat, the body of the squirrel, it will actually, because your needle is going through the wool and into the foam, some of the fibres go into the foam, so you have to peel off your squirrel. So there you go, there's your work on the back. Some people actually like that as the front, but I tend to like the part that I actually worked on. So I'm going to carry on. Now we can make the edges, we can turn the edges in. Just keep turning your work a little bit. You might think this is quite big for the body of a squirrel, but what we're actually doing, we're making a support for underneath the tail, so you've got something to actually pop your tail onto. We're also doing the head on this, so we're not adding anything extra to make his head. His head is actually part of the bottom shape. So this is going to be his head. So at this point you could start thinking, right, if that's going to be his head, we'll stop stabbing that little bit and just work on the other. Okay, so continue with these. What I said about the body being quite wide there, if you look under there, under his tail, that is the support for the wool that we've put on for his tail. So don't worry too much about that. So just keep stabbing away and shaping his body. Right, we'll turn him round and we'll do a little bit of work on his head. So you might think, oh, his head's not got much wool there and it's a little bit flat, but I'll show you in a short time how to do this. What we've done, we've put him some little cheeks on, so that's sort of added, but with the ears. So what I did do at this point, I went in and out quite a few times to do like the jawline. This just holds the wool. What's doing here is it's really compressing and making it's more compact and it's making it thinner in that area, but it's giving some definition, as you can see there. This technique can be used if you wanted to make a leg imprint, or you wanted to give him a little bit of a tummy. Anything like that can be used in that technique, but I will show you how to do that shortly. Right, so the wool now is really sticking together, and like I say, when you turn it over you can see how matted it is. So we'll just keep going. I don't know whether you can hear my background music, but I always have a little bit of music on when I'm doing the creative stuff. I've got Stone Away playing at the moment, which I really do like. Right, so I think his head now, we can do a little bit more work on his head. Now, when you're using your needle, don't try and push things with it because they are fragile and they will snap. But you can sort of gently, if you can see there, you can gently just pop over there. So we've got a little bit of definition there on his head coming. And there's his nose. So there we go. So his head's taking shape now. You should always, when the needle's going in the felt, it should always go in straight, okay? But Straight also means if you're going in like that, you're still going in straight. You're not sort of pushing it, because if you went in like that and then tried to straighten up, you would stab your needle. But if you just, like when I'm going around the edges, I just tuck in and I'm going in at an angle, but I am keeping my needle straight as it's going in, if you understand. When you've done a few little bits of work, you will sort of understand a little bit more. Everything will probably just go in line and think, oh, I understand now what I've been doing there, or whatever. Right, so we're up to now where we've got a face shape, we've got the piece where the tail's going to go on, and we've got a little bit of body there. So I'm going to pop this to one side, and we're going to start on the ears. The ears are made separate, so we get a little bit of the wool. Like again, when you're looking at it and you think, oh, I might not have enough wool there, just get yourself a little bit more. It's easier, especially when you're doing little things like ears, to have enough to start with. Okay, so all I did there was I got my wool, folded it in half. Now squirrels have like little tufts on tops of their ears, don't they? So if you just between finger and thumb and just twist, and then pop it down onto your foam and start in and out with your needle. And what you'll get is it'll start forming together just like you've done with your body, but it'll be obviously a lot thinner, but you will get some shape. Remember, just be careful near your fingers, because little things do get the needle close to your fingers. Right, once you've got to that stage, you can peel it off your foam. If you turn it over, you will see lots of like little hairs that's gone through. Don't worry so much about them. You can pull some of those up to make your little tufts if you need to. Right, now I think you need to go down probably 1 centimetre, making the wool fibres knit together. So keep going with your needle. I know my needle doesn't look like it's going in straight, but I'm trying to keep my hand away so that you can see what I'm doing. Right, that one is probably just about there. We'll do a little bit more. Like I say, all the little bits at the edge, you can tuck them in like you did on the body. It's just a smaller piece of work, but it's the same principles that we're using. We're matting all that hair together and forming a shape. Right, so when we get to that, we'll pop that one to one side and we'll get another piece. Now you might be thinking, why are we doing 2 ears when we're doing a brooch and you're only going to see one side of it? Well, I like to have 2 ears. If it's an animal with 2 ears, when I'm doing a brooch, I always like to have 2 ears. Okay? Because it just looks better. Because if you looked at something, an animal, even if you're just looking at it straight on, you will see that it's got 2 and it looks better. So there, we start again. We've twisted as wool and we're getting it now to knit together by putting the needle through. The good thing about this, about felting, is if you want, you can stop at any time. It's not like when you're knitting and you're getting halfway through a line of knitting with the pattern and you have to stop and then you think, oh no, I need to get to the end of it. This you don't, you can just leave it. You can just put your things on your pad, stick your needle in, walk away from it and come back when you can, because I know sometimes you just don't get time to complete something, and it doesn't take much room up. My room's taken up by all the boxes of coloured wools I've got, because I can't resist having a look and buying the nice coloured wools. Right, so we've got a couple of ears now. This one is a little bit thicker, but it doesn't matter, because what I'll do is I'll put this one at the front and that one can go to the back. Right, so to shape your ears, what I tend to do is pop my finger there, fold that over, and then just pop that needle in, just like when we were making that line for the jaw where we went in and out and we compressed the wool in. Well, this is what we're going to do now with the ear, so that the ear's nipped in a little bit. So there we go, we've got one ear, and we need to do the same with this one. So again, finger in the middle, fold it over, and we are about 1 centimetre down. You don't have to be exact, because nothing's exact in the wild. I'm sure squirrels all haven't got the same size ears. Compact, and now we've got 2 little ears. Okay.